So I was able to build this entire creation in less than 10 minutes. I mean, it's awesome. It's a heater, it's a stove, it's a mini individual patio heater, ooh, and my favorite, a fan to circulate the air. So this thing is one unit that does just about everything. So let me go ahead and show you how I made it and where I got most of the stuff. All right, so what we're going to do is tear it apart now. There's a small can. So this can is about the size of this can. This is chicken breast from Kirkland. I think we got that from Costco. I have a whole box of cans. And now inside here, I have some steel mesh. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And then in here, I have a can of Phillips crab meat. If you know I like my crab meat. I got that from a previous build actually. So like a lot of these are left over from other builds. Let me see, where can I put my rocks here? And inside I have some lava rocks. Now lava rocks, you can usually get those from Walmart, Home Depot, pretty much any place, especially in the summer. It might be hard this time of year. I found this nice big bag of them at Lowe's. And of course you can get them on Amazon, so I'll put a link below. And that saves you having to wait till spring. So we're going to put those over here. And then it's a cookie tin. Okay, I'm not ready. I have the cover of the cookie tin over there, but you can see these are just Danish butter cookies. So let me go ahead and start from scratch. I'm looking around this morning saying, what am I going to build? I had a list of about 3 different stoves I wanted to work on. And then, oh, you know, I got the idea. So what I decided to do was to take this can here. Now, if I had a bigger one, I would have liked to have, use a bigger one. But this is what I have in the garage. And I'm just putting these together as an experiment to show you what you can do. Now, initial time you burn this, you're going to want to do it outdoors. I do have some paint remover, but I'm not going to take the time to do that because the fumes from that are worse than the fumes from burning this stuff off. But they have this paint remover stuff that you can put on here and let it sit for about 20 minutes, and you can wipe the paint right off so you don't want to have the paint, because these don't have labels, okay? And I would suggest you doing that. On the other hand, this really isn't going to get that hot. It's not going to affect the paint. For those of you that say, oh, the paint's going to come off and the fumes and that. Okay, it's not going to happen. So anyways, that there, a bigger one would be nicer. Just got to put more rocks in there. And the next spot was to take a can to put in there. And I have this crab can, which fits right in the middle. Now, if you don't have crabs, these are pears and syrup. So it's about the same size can. Again, you can do this with any size. You can use a bigger cookie tin, bigger cans, whatever, but it's just that these, the bottom one and the top one should be about the same in diameter. So this will fit right inside of it. See what I mean? That's how that's going to go. All right, let's put that over there. So what I'm going to do is, if I were going to recreate this whole thing, which I'm only going to build the parts that I want you to see, and I would build it with probably a pear can, because these are like $25. This is like $2. But I happen to have it because I like crab meat. Okay, now I have that about a little bit taller. If I were going to actually make another one, it doesn't really matter. Anywhere's from even height, so you can measure it with a pen and go like that to cut it, you know. So even height to a little taller is fine. You don't want it real tall, okay? So I'm going to leave that there. Now, all I need is, once I do that, I take my mesh, okay? Now, where do you get mesh? I got mine online. In fact, I just ordered a new batch of it because I use a lot of it from Amazon. I'll show you the link below if you want to see that. And it comes like this in a nice box. And it's all plasticated, plastic all over it. And you can see you get quite a bit of it for a very good price. So you can unroll this. Now this one was a previous roll that I had was smaller. So with this one I can make things a lot taller. And I don't know if I would make a taller one next time or not. Probably. Whenever I make things with denatured alcohol, I like to make it tall because that puts off big flames. However, this might be a little flimsier than this. So depending on the width of it, if it was this size or maybe a little wider, I'd probably go with maybe almost all the way up or all the way up. So we're going to put this to the side. And all I did was I took this and I rolled it up. And if you can see really close, I rolled it up so it would fit just inside here. And once I got the size I wanted, I took it out. And if you can see really close, can you see that? I put staples in it. I have one staple here, and one staple here. Just a regular office stapler will do that. So this way I don't have to worry about it coming undone, or if I want to put it back in, oh gee, that doesn't fit, and take the whole thing apart again, all right? So that's easy. Look at that. Starting to come together already, isn't it? So now what I need is the top part. So for the top part, this chicken can would fit in it. See how that would fit? But it doesn't need to be that tall. So let me get a marker. And with this marker, I'm going to make this one as tall as that one. How do I do that? Just take something that you can measure with. In fact, you know, I'm going to take the paper off. That's a neat thing about experiments. You're always changing your mind. Okay, so now let me go ahead and make that line going all the way around so we know how high to cut it. Look at that. And don't worry, that paper, you can take it all off with the glue and everything, but it's gonna burn off. The can really doesn't care, all right? And no, that's not gonna destroy you. That's why I say burn it outside. So I did that. Now, I have 4 holes in this one. So I use my DeWalt drill with a step drill. Can you see that little step drill right there? A step drill is something that as you drill in, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So you can make the hole whatever size you like. So what I'm going to do is put one on each end. Okay, so that's about... Now this is just so when the heat's coming up, it'll make like a chimney effect. Okay, so that part's done, and then all we have to do is cut around the line. And with that, I have my fancy little Wen, it's kind of like a Dremel tool. Now, let's see if that goes on. This is going to be loud, so be careful. If I could turn it on. Oh, here we go. Now, if I were going to do this again, I would do it with my larger grinding tool, because sometimes these little discs just can't take it. And as you can see here, that one just kind of let go. But luckily, it let go right at the end. Made one sharp edge, which I'm going to sand down later. But this is basically just a DIY to show you how to put this together. So now I have this, and it would fit right on top of here. Isn't that cool? And that, of course, is for if I want to cook, or if I want to put the fan on top, or anything I want to put on there. So far we got the outer can, we got the inner can, we got the wire, we got this part. What else do we have to make? Let's see, we don't need this. I'll put that over there. So for the inside, I'm going to take some steel wool and put that in there. Do I need any more? Normally I would probably put another one, but I'm not going to do an awful lot because I'm not going to let it burn for a long time today. And then, isn't this getting easy? See how easy it is to do? Woohoo, I love it. And then you just put the rocks in. You have to be nice and, whoops. nice and neat. Now you see why my wife doesn't let me do this in the kitchen. I like to make a mess. I try to make it even because they might get hot. Okay. These things are great because they heat up and they stay clean. They don't put off any dangerous things, you know. And actually, you could even, if they got hot enough, you could even cook off of them. You know, hot dogs or whatever you want to put on there. So I have that there. And let me see. I'm going to put this. That's still going to fit on there. Oh yeah, that'll fit great. And then all I need to do is put in the alcohol. Where's the alcohol? Now to put in the alcohol, I'm actually going to take this out again so I see how much I'm going to be putting in. Okay. I've got a little bit left of this one, so we're going to use the ending of one and probably the beginning of another. Now you can just use the alcohol straight if you want, but I don't like it to swash around, because if it sloshes around, there's always a chance of a spill and a flare-up, and we don't want anything like that. And while I'm talking about that, you want to have safety first. I always have a safety blanket right over here. Just grab that, it comes out, big blanket, probably a little bit bigger than the size of this table. Put that over anything, it'll suffocate it. I always have a fire extinguisher right over there. It's actually, that's one of those little spray ones, almost like a spray can. Works really cool. If you're doing it indoors, you want to have a, well actually I have a smoke alarm also here, but you always want to have a smoke alarm and a carbon monoxide detector. So make sure you do all that. Now what's the best fuel for this? The best fuel is denatured alcohol, but you can also use pretty much any kind of alcohol. This here is, how much is it getting to be? Wow, it's actually absorbing. There we go. Denatured alcohol, this here is 91%. You could even use a 75%. I'm using, normally I would use denatured. I'm only using 91% because it burns a little redder. You can actually see the flame because it's not as pure. When you're using denatured alcohol, which is 99% pure, you really can't see the flames. Try to keep that out of your reach when you're lighting up flames, okay? So I have that. I have this. And there we go. I want to make sure it's nice and flat on the bottom because we're going to be putting things on top of it, such as our cup. Let's see. I had a big gallon of water, but it's so cold down here it's frozen solid. So I brought some water in my Dunkin' Donuts cup to be able to do that. Have enough in there for tea. And there we are. Ta-da! Let me move some of the stuff out of the way so you can see everything working. I need more tables, you know that? There we go. Put that there. And matter of fact, I'm going to save this for now and I'm going to use the old one. There. So we can get that out of the way, we can get this out of the way, and we'll get the pen out of the way, and the drill. Everything is, almost everything is out of the way. And now I would say we could keep the water in case there's a problem with fire, but you know what happens when you pour water and alcohol? You get a bigger fire. Don't do it. Okay, it's like pouring it on oil. Not that the water's dangerous, but I put it over there because sometimes in a panic, I might just throw the water and not think about it. So, what do you think so far? Right, now, I have a metal trivet that I usually use, but I'm going to put it on this wooden one. I'm not worried about it getting too hot. It's not going to be on that long. And also, this thing here doesn't get hot. What gets hot is from here going upwards. Okay. So then all we do is just take this and go ahead and light it up. And we've got it. That's probably the hardest part, is getting it lit up. I want to get rid of any spills here, some little overflow, but look how fast that is heating up. Wow. Matter of fact, I'm going to put my cup right on there. And there you have it. Beautiful. Now, one thing that I wasn't prepared for is I didn't take the tag off of my mug. But it will come off. Oh, it's nice and warm. Now the beauty about this is not only will it heat the cup, but it'll heat my hands too. Ah, that's so warm. Like I said, it's pretty cold down here. And isn't that great? We're going to get the water getting hot there for a little bit. And then I'll show you the other things that it can do. How long does it take to heat up the water? Let's find out. It's already been started, so there's the timer. There we go. Can you see I got a timer going? So we're going to put that, let's see. Next time I buy a timer, oops, remind me to buy one that is not round. Here I am. Okay, folks, watch the timer. Oh, you're getting sleepy. Sleepy. Wow, that's putting off some heat. Matter of fact, don't you just... Remember I said I need a table? Either that or a janitor to come in here and clean up the mess. So, by the way, don't be alarmed. This is putting off... I have the garage door cracked over there, but it's still going to probably put off some soot and smoke, and my smoke alarm may go off. Matter of fact, I'm going to open the door a little more, just in case. There we go. I got the door opened about 1.5 feet. So, how hot does this get? The bottom can is 111. Matter of fact, let me go up there so you can see, okay? Here we go. Can you see that? 167, 413. I'm doing on the screen 530, 400, 530, 550 degrees. Can you see that? I don't know if you could actually, oops. I'm hoping you can see that. I'm looking on the screen to see if you... There we go. I don't want you to think I'm giving you a bunch of baloney. And let's see how it's doing with the water inside. Ooh, 137. Smoke is coming out of it already. So we're 2 minutes into it. 2 minutes. Oops. What did I hit? It said 2 minutes. Start. Come on. Okay, folks, I'm going to have to do this again. This is a brand new timer I bought. And when I picked it up, it went from 2 minutes to 94.55. I don't know what I did to it. Okay, that's probably going to go back to the store. So how is this coming along now? 521. 400, 400. The steel wool is 500, so it's actually pretty warm. I better put these gloves on because it'd be like me to grab something now. Yeah, you can see the steam coming out of there. Isn't that beautiful though, huh? You can see the side of the mug, the tag is starting to come off. I love these Lazy Susans. You can turn around so you can see the whole ball of wax, the whole shebang. Hello. The water's boiling already. I bought a couple trivets and I never really get to use them. Let's see if that water... We're going to leave it on there a little longer. So just look at the time in the video to see how long it takes to boil water. And like I was telling somebody the other day, they go, well, what if it takes 10 minutes or 20 minutes? Hey, this is for a blackout, power outage or something like that, or out in your garage. What else you got to do, okay? If you can't wait 10 minutes for boiling water, I mean, go to Dunkin' Donuts. Wah! So I think it's just great that you could even do it. So this thing is... Well, I'm going to read the instructions first, before I say it's going to go back. But it actually went off. Isn't that great? I know it goes for about an hour, and then it shuts off. Now it can. The other day, I tried it out upstairs, and I thought I turned it off. I put it in the other room, and about an hour later, it was going beep, beep, beep. I'm wondering, what's going on in the house? It's beep, 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 beep. It was this thing. It hit the hour. Look at that. Huh. So we got boiling water now. So whatever time it is, look at the smoke coming out of there. Oh yeah, see the smoke coming out of that? So, put that right there. Now, besides boiling water, okay, you can also put this on it. And it just became my own personal patio heater. So I want to take off the gloves. Sounds like I'm going to get in a fight. I'm taking off the gloves. Not me. Ooh, that does radiate it quite a bit more. It's coming straight down here. You don't feel nothing here. Now remember, a lot of people are going to say, you can't create heat. Yes, with the laws of thermodynamics, you know, heat is heat is heat. You get the same amount of heat. What you're doing is you're redirecting it. Okay, without that, the heat goes kind of up. With this, the heat's going around. Okay, that's the nice thing. If you got 3 or 4 friends sitting around outside on the deck, or if you want to go fishing or something like that, that's a great idea. Now, I think this might be, you can see all the smoke, too hot for this. But I'm going to put that on there anyway, just so we can see if it's going to get going. Like I said, this is pretty great. Oops. I'm trying to check the temperature with my igniter. No, that doesn't work. Keep the toys out of the way. My wife's always saying, dress them up, you can't take them anywhere. This is the right tool. Okay. So that top pan is 281 right now. I don't know if you can see that. I know really reflections is really hard. 570. Well, that does get hot, doesn't it? 659, 680, 673. Wow. 659. Woohoo! So I'm sure if we let it go, usually this thing, my thermometer here, or whatever you call it, heat finder, will go up to 700 degrees and it shuts off. Oops. I'm surprised. It just went up to 750 degrees. Can you see that? And there goes the fan. So there you have it. We have hot water and we can circulate the air throughout the fan. We have our very own patio heater, radiant heater at the bottom, and you can cook on it. Isn't this awesome? If you like it, please share it with your friends. Leave me a note. Let me know what you think of it, what kind of additions or changes you would make. Like I said, this is just what stuff I have hanging around the garage here. It wasn't really what I was going to make, but it's kind of a neat little toy. So let me go ahead and move some of this away. And woohoo, take this fan. I don't like to leave the fan on something like this for when it gets too hot, because these things put out an awful lot of heat. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Now this should be okay. And I'm going to take, this is probably going to be really hot, so I'm going to put it right there. Oh, yes. That's very hot. And keep our tea going so I can bring it up upstairs. What should we call it? The biscuit pan radiant infrared cooker. What do you call this thing here? The patio heating fan moving stove. If I put that in the title, do you think people are going to go right past it? This thing is great. It's putting off a lot of heat. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye now. Woohoo! Ah, I got to put my glove on.